Hello, everybody. This is John Paul with Access Arts Live. I'm here with your weekly roundup of organ recitals and concerts for the week of June 9th to June 16th. We're already practically in summer. What happened to the year? Anyway, we have a lot of great recitals to tell you about. We've got our usual weekly recitals in San Diego, Toronto, Oxford, London, and Paris. Those are all terrific places to get weekly recitals from, but additional extended concerts of Piazzolla and Vivaldi's Four Seasons in Tomsk, and then multiple organists playing a very full and really interesting program in Methuen, Massachusetts on the great organ there. So this week's live streams have something for everyone. Before I go any further, remember to like this video on Facebook and or subscribe or follow Access Arts Live on YouTube, X, TikTok, Instagram, or Threads if that is where you watch us, so you never miss the more than 1,000 live performances coming your way online this year. There you go. I really shortened that little clip that I can use sometimes. Anyway, let us get right to, you can see some of the organists there, but not all of them. I wasn't able to find pictures of everybody, but boy, are there some interesting organists who are going to be online this week being live streamed. And we start out right away with later today. Today is Tuesday, June 10th. And a little later today, in about 4 hours, there will be a live stream that you might want to tune into. Tuesday, June 10th, St. James Cathedral, Toronto, host Michał Szostak from Poland for its weekly organ recital live stream at 1 o'clock Toronto time, 7 in the evening European time. Michał Szostak is a phenomenon. He's born in 1980, so he's 45 years old. He's in the fullness of his life. He's a concert organist, but he's also a musicologist. He's got a Doctor of Music Arts in Organ Performance. He studied organ performance at the Chopin Music University in Warsaw. He studied musical improvisation at the Pontificio Istituto Ambrosiano di Musica Sacra in Milan. Along the way, he also got an MA and a PhD in management at another academy in Warsaw. He also has a certificate from the Royal College of Organists. He's a member of the American Guild of Organists. We're told he performs dozens of organ recitals around the world. He's an active concert organist now, all over Europe and the USA. He's an author. He has the widest international bibliography among Polish scholars working in the area of organ studies. For about 7 years, after 2011 and 2018, he was the music director at the Shrine of the Virgin Mary in Lichtenstein in Poland. I cannot tell you how important that is to Poles. Anyway, and he's also an adjunct professor of social sciences in Warsaw. So this guy's terrific. We don't, however, know what he's going to be playing because they never tell us at St. James. But I can tell you the organ has 87 ranks, 67 speaking stops, over 4 manuals and 6 divisions, 5,101 pipes. It was built by various people between 1860 and 1976 when it was rebuilt with additions by L.I. Phelps and Associates. So you're going to hear a very interesting guy playing that organ if you tune in tonight at, let me get the times very precise for you, 1 o'clock Eastern Daylight Time, 10 o'clock on the West Coast, or 7 o'clock in the evening here in Europe. I won't give the time in Australia for that because it's the middle of the night. Then we move along to tomorrow's live stream, which will come to us from Tomsk, from one of the familiar faces. If you follow our information about these recitals, this is not the first time you have heard of Dmitry Ushakov, who is the concert organist at the Tomsk Philharmonic out in Tomsk, Siberia. That's a picture of him there. Wednesday, June 11th at 1 in the afternoon European time, the Tomsk Philharmonic live streams Dmitry Ushakov on the organ playing Vivaldi and Piazzolla's Four Seasons. If you go to the website, you will find they always have a nice discussion of why they were doing it. And the thing that Ushakov points out about the difference between Vivaldi and Piazzolla's Four Seasons is that to him, Vivaldi is really focused on recreating for you the feelings of nature, whereas Piazzolla personalizes it a lot more, and it's more about the personal experience you have in different seasons. Like wintertime is it's not as joyful. Anyway, so and the other thing I want to mention to that, this is the Russian week to do this because on Friday the 13th. At the Catholic Cathedral in Moscow, there's going to be another concert, and we covered that in our Big Stage Productions live stream. And they will also be playing Vivaldi and Piazzolla's Four Seasons, but with an orchestra and I think a violinist as well. So it'll be sort of a bigger production. But there you go, from Moscow to Tomsk. The Russians are really into Vivaldi and Piazzolla this week only. So then we move on to some more of this week's more routine live streams. If anything, this week is going to be routine, and I'm not sure. And I hope this is the right picture of this guy because I really had trouble finding it. Wednesday, June 11th, Queen's College, Oxford, live streams Tim Stewart, the Oundle for Organist Award winner this year, playing Bach, Buxtehude, Brahms, and Mendelssohn on the Queen's College Frobenius organ. They're very proud of that organ. We give you the link to it so you can see how proud of it they are, actually. He'll be playing Bach's Toccata, Adagio, and Fugue, Buxtehude's Giacone in E minor, Brahms's Fugue in A flat minor, and Mendelssohn's Sonata number 1. So German. Timothy is currently in his second year at the Royal Birmingham Conservatory, and he's also the organ scholar at Birmingham Cathedral, which is St. Philip's. The Frobenius organ was built by the Danish firm Frobenius in 1965, and they claim it set the standard for the classical organ revival in Britain. Well, you can follow the link to find out more of the details. They don't give a summary of things like how many stops, et cetera, it has and pipes, so I can't tell you that. But if you go to the link that we give you, you will see all of the pipes and stops and everything listed in separate categories. It never summed up, which kind of stops me from saying too much. Anyway, there he is, the young man, the ambitious young man, playing a very Germanic program on Wednesday. I think we have another concert on Wednesday. At just about the same time at the Temple Church. Wednesday, June 11th, the Temple Church London live streams the up-and-coming Italian organist Paolo Oreni. That'll be like 5 minutes after the live stream at Queen College, Oxford, which is at 2:10 European time, 8:10 in the morning, Eastern Daylight Time, 5:10 Pacific Daylight Time, and 11:10 p.m. in Australia. Well, 5 minutes after that, Temple Church London comes online. The Süddeutsche Zeitung, which is the South German newspaper, describes Paolo Oreni as, quote, a young, promising, talented Italian artist, a miracle of skill with phenomenal precision that is still unreached. I'm not sure what unreached precision means, but anyway, he has studied at the National Conservatory of Luxembourg, even though he's from Italy. He's won a number of, he's a multiple prize winner. He's played at the Scala Theater in Milan with the La Scala Film, and with a number of other, the Bergamo Orchestra, the Jeune Orchestre de Paris, and various other somewhat prestigious orchestras across Europe. and he's got a CD out already. So looks like an interesting guy. Once again, we do not have the specifics of what he's going to play. You know, he looks like a very serious guy, though. So let us see what we can move you on to, because next up is on Wednesday. I think it is on Wednesday. Is a live stream coming from this place. That is the mighty organ at Methuen Memorial in Methuen, Massachusetts. Wednesday evening, Eastern Daylight Time, June 11th, Methuen Memorial Summer Concert Series live streams 4 Boston organists, Jonathan Wessler, Kevin Lichak, Louise Mundinger, and Jennifer Hassau, playing the oldest concert organ in the continental United States of America. That will be at 7:30 in the evening, Eastern Daylight Time, 4:30 on the West Coast, 1:30 in the morning in Europe, and a lovely 9:30 on Thursday morning down under in Australia. What a great way to start your day. If they pile in 4 organists in one fell swoop, it's not within our means to look up all of them. You know, the photos, we aren't provided the photos of any of these organists. And very often we have to go digging to find their programs through several websites. I really could not be digging up the photos for all 4 organists, but I want to tell you about the program, because each of them is playing 2 or 3 pieces, and it's a delightful sort of organ layout, a real banquet. It starts out with Jonathan Wessler, who's going to play César Franck's a Fantaisie. Then he'll play the toccata from the 3 pieces by Augustin Barrier. That's interesting. I don't know Barrier, okay? Then Kevin Lichak, or Lychak, Lyczak, with these Americans, you never know how they're going to pronounce a name which would be pronounced a different way in Europe. He'll be playing the Franck's Cantabile, CFF 103, and Louis Viern's Finale from the Symphony No. 1, Opus 14. Wow. Okay, then there's going to be an intermission. Then Louise Mundinger comes up. She'll be playing a fantasy by Emma Lou Deemer, who I think another woman organist last week was playing a piece by Emma Lou Deemer. So this is the second time in a week we've heard her. Then Horatio Parker's Romanza, Opus 17, No. 3, and Max Reger's Dank Psalm, which I think means thank you psalm, or Psalm of Thanks, Opus 145, No. 2. And then to wind up, it's Jennifer Hassau. She'll be playing Jean de Messier's Rorate Celli, which I think means Move the Heavens, from 12 Choral Preludes, Opus 7. And then Marcel Dupre's Variations on a Theme of Christmas, Opus 20. Wow. I mean, that's a delightful program. I don't care. You don't need the pictures of the people playing it. They will be quality organists, because Methuen is a very picky place. They don't let just anybody play, and they usually do not bring in people who are just students or something. They bring in mature, established organists. So I think that, again, that's a great concert. I'll tell you a little bit about the organ. You know, I call it the oldest concert organ in the United States, because that's what they call it. But the original organ is long gone. It was built by a Walker and Company of Germany in 1863 for the Boston Concert Hall. There's a whole long story about it. In fact, the thing that distinguishes the Methuen Concert Hall is that it was built to suit this organ, and not vice versa, back in the 1890s by a famous architect. Anyway, but the whole organ was rebuilt by Aeolian Skinner in 1947, Opus 1103, and it was re-regulated in the last 4 years under the direction of Frederick A. MacArthur. It has 4 manuals, 5 divisions, 86 stops, 116 ranks, and 6,088 pipes. I don't know what more you need to motivate you between that lovely program and that organ. I mean, come on. Okay. Let us move on then to the next concert that we have for you, and after that we're back to one of our weekly live stream experiences. Incidentally, on Thursday, the Truro Cathedral is dark this week, but they'll be back next week. Friday, June 13th, the St. Paul's Episcopal Cathedral in San Diego live streams the ever-articulate and engaging Canon Martin Green, playing the organ with the longest history in San Diego region, an Aeolian Skinner rebuilt by Quimby pipe organs a decade ago. And he's just, he never tells us what he's going to play, but it's always an interesting selection, and he gives great explanations of why and what, without leaving you in the musicological dust, so to speak. Then we move on to Saturday's live stream, and once again, I am not going to have a photograph of the organist. I looked and looked, and I just could not come up with it. But I can give you a picture of the Roman Catholic Cathedral in London, which is where this is taking place. And I can pull off these other photos that didn't get removed. Saturday, June 14th, St. Petersburg organist Regina Kamenshchikova plays Bach, CPE Bach, Ravanello, and Mate at the Catholic Cathedral in Moscow in a free of charge live stream as usual from Art Bene's YouTube channel. That'll be at 7 in the evening, European time, 1 in the afternoon, your Saturday afternoon on the East Coast, 10 in the morning, your Saturday morning on the West Coast. It's 8 o'clock. It's taking place in Moscow. I looked and I really was not able to find much information about this organist, although they describe her in the program notes as being a very well-known, well-established organist in St. Petersburg. But I couldn't find any more. If you're trying to look for yourself, you might look on the Mariinsky Theater website. You might find a bio of her. Anyway, she'll be playing some Bach, 3 choral preludes by Bach, and then a fantasy in C minor, the prelude and fugue in D minor, two more choral preludes, fantasy and fugue in G minor, and then coming down to the end of the concert, she plays CPE Bach's Adagio in G minor. Then she plays Ravanello's Prelude and Prayer from Opus 50 and finishes up with Ulisse Matei's Tempo di Sonata. So it's all Bach, Bach, Bach until the very end when you get CPE Bach, Ravanello, and Matei. And we have then for you left one more live stream to tell you about. Coming to you from good old St. Eustache Church in the heart of Paris. And I won't be able to be there because I'm heading back to Stockholm tomorrow, folks. So I will no longer be able to show up on the steps of the St. Eustache Church and do live streams from there and tell you about it. Sunday, June 15th, St. Eustachian Church in Paris live streams Will Fielding on the magnificent Van den Heuvel organ, one of the largest organs in France, 5 p.m. European time in the heart of Paris. That's their usual time. It's 11 o'clock in the morning on the East Coast, 8 o'clock in the morning on the West Coast. He'll be playing his own arrangement or transcription of Engelbert Humperdinck's Overture to Hansel and Gretel. There you go. That's an ambitious young man. He gets to play the Van den Heuvel organ with its 101 stops, 5 manuals, and 7,952 pipes. Fielding started his studies in Edinburgh, and then he went to the Royal College of Music for a few years. And then in about 220, he decided he wanted to get into the wonderful French organ tradition. So he went down to Toulouse to study at the conservatory there, but now he has moved up to study at the Paris Conservatory with Olivier Latry and Thomas Hospital. Who's Thomas Hospital? He's one of the resident organs at St. Eustache Church, and on a regular basis, he brings his students, like Will Fielding, in to play that terrific Van den Heuvel organ there. So this is something to check out. If you want to know more about the organ and about Thomas Hospital, on our YouTube channel in the interview section, there's about a 35-minute live stream interview I did with Thomas Ospital, where he tells you everything you might wonder about that terrific organ there, and about the architecture of the church, and how the architecture of that church has one impact on the organ sound, whereas the similar sized organ at Notre Dame Cathedral has to deal with a different architecture, so you get a different sound. I mean, it's what the French call une leçon, you know, a lesson in organ music. So if you love organs and you're a real musicologist about them, I think you'll find that talk with Thomas Ospital very interesting. And if you don't, well, then you may not find it so interesting. But if you want to learn about organs and what all the different parts are and how this interacts with the church architecture, which is to me a fascinating subject, and I just learned it, well, that's a great. So I commend the live stream interview on our YouTube channel to you. Folks, that's what we have for you in terms of live streams. I hope that one, more, some, or any of these interesting live streams inspires you, uplifts you, or just shows you a good time. And with that, I will remind you once again, before I sign off, wherever it is you may find this video. If you're watching this on Facebook, please click the like the video button. If you're watching this on any of our other 6 platforms, please follow and or subscribe to Access Arts Live on YouTube, X, TikTok, Instagram, Threads, and or LinkedIn. And make sure then that you, if you're an organ lover, you don't miss any of the hundreds of live performances on the organ, which we'll be telling you about in the months and year to come. I'll say ciao for now, but I will be back in about 40 minutes at 4 o'clock European time, 10 o'clock in the morning on the East Coast, and way too early, 7 in the morning on the West Coast, with the roundup of chamber music this week. And we have early music, we have classical chamber music, and we have very now music, all in 1 week, all packed together. 7 lovely chamber music live streams. So I would encourage you to tune in to one, some, more, or any of them, and enjoy. And come back and see me in about it's 3:23 now, about 35 minutes, really, 40 minutes, something like that. 4 o'clock European time. Ciao for now.